Hi, and welcome to WakeTV. I'm your host, John Hamlin. We've got a busy April and May, so stay tuned to see what's happening in Wake. Hey, I'm John Hamlin, and we're here at the Wake County Animal Center, where kitten season is already underway. I'm here with foster coordinator Joanne Duda, and she's here to tell us all about kitten season.
Well, yeah, as he said, it is underway. What that means is that the nights are warming up and that the mama cats are out having a good time, and it's time to start making babies. And then they start rolling in because people find them. The funny thing is a lot of the rescue folks also nickname this kitten napping season, because people find the kittens out because mom has gone off to get something to eat and they're like, oh my God, kittens! And so they bring them into us because they think they've been abandoned, but they actually haven't.
Okay.
So yeah, we usually get inundated with a lot of kittens, mostly without their mothers. So we rely very heavily on our foster network and our rescue network to help us.
Okay. And so who is this little guy?
This is young Ian. Ian was born on March 10th, so he is 17 days old. His eyes just opened probably 3 days ago, and his ears are starting to open up too. If you look at him close enough, you can see they're still kind of folded. Pretty classic baby. And he just ate, and he's lying to you saying that he's hungry because he just ate. But he is what we call a bottle feeder. He cannot survive without somebody feeding him. He cannot eat on his own.
Okay, and so without their moms around, I understand this is a pretty busy time of year at the center, and y'all really rely upon volunteers to help take care of all these kittens that are coming in.
We do, and the main issue that we have here is weight gain. Because we do need to get them to 2 pounds so that they are surgery weight. And a lot of our kittens come in at underweight, usually on average 6 weeks old when people start, because that's when they start making noise and wandering around, and that's when people start to see them, between 4 and 6 weeks. And so we need to get them healthy, keep them healthy, and get them to surgery weight so that they can be made available for adoption.
Okay, so I'm sure plenty of people at home have already seen little Ian here and have already fallen in love and want to get involved and help.
How could you not?
Yeah, so what should people expect, and where do they go to find out more?
Well, so if you visit our website, it's www.wakegov.com/pets. There's a little tab at the top and it says how to help. Under that tab, there's a little thing for fostering in there. If you click on that, it will take you to a page that we have that has fostering frequently asked questions. It also has a link to our online application, which if you fill that out, you'll get a kickback saying we're processing it, and then I will follow that up with an email with orientation dates.
Well, thank you, Joanne. That's great information. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And if you'd like to find out more about how you can help during this year's kitten season, go to wakegov.com/pets to learn more.
We want cake! We want cake! We want cake! We want cake!
You remembered to get the cake, right?
I thought you were getting the cake.
We want cake!
What? No cake?
Things are better when you plan. Learn more about what we're planning at planwake.org.
Here in Wake County, we're always looking for more foster families. Let's check in with Kristen and Greg to see what it's like to be a foster parent.
We were looking for the next thing that we thought we might be doing with our family, thinking originally it might be adoption again, and Kristen bumped into somebody at a park that was a foster parent.
We feel like we're called by God to do something, to serve others, and so what better way for our whole family to be able to serve these kids and families.
We had a lot of obvious nervous anticipation of what was about to happen. And I would say, followed by that, it was mainly thinking about, all right, if we're this nervous, what's this child experiencing? The first thing that we realized that many people don't understand is that foster care is about reunification. So the number one thing is this process is established to reunify kids with their families in temporary care. And the second question we always get after that is, well, I don't understand, how could I let the kids go back home? And they think that that's like the biggest hurdle in the process. And actually that's not the thing that you struggle the most with as a foster parent. That is a grieving process that you would go through with kids going back to their families. But many times you're celebrating it.
Yeah, one of the most challenging things with having the little boy was really close to our youngest son's age, and so our youngest son started copying those behaviors, and that was really difficult because we're like, okay, that's not you, you're just copying him, so that was hard. They were seeing a therapist weekly, but then that wasn't enough, so we were able to get in-home therapy for them, and that was extremely helpful.
Yeah, that helped a lot. Helping understand trauma and what they're going through, and then also some tools to how to deal with certain situations that come up in the home.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful.
And with the in-home therapy, the therapist comes and they kind of work with the whole family. So it's not just that child. They help everyone figure out, okay, what are we gonna do here?
Yeah, we have a whole support network of friends and family in our church that we depend on heavily. Calling them when things are difficult, and even people showing up to help us.
Yeah, bring meals when you have a new placement and stuff like that. I think, gosh, the most rewarding thing is probably just being able to love on these kids when they need somebody there. Because sometimes their parent isn't going to be involved trying to work their plan, and they're going to need extra love, and just being able to be there and comfort them. It
might not be the same for all foster families, but the way we work is that foster process is the whole family. Offering our whole family over to the kid to just be a member of it, right? And we just find that for us it works better that way.
We continue to foster so we can show the love of Jesus. I mean, it's how our family can serve together. And we love having a full house with all these kids in it and just loving on them as long as they're with us.
I'm a foster parent.
I'm a foster parent.
I'm a foster parent.
I am a foster parent, and you can be too.
Are you hosting an event but don't have a convenient way to collect trash and recycling? Wake County is excited to announce a new event recycling program that's free for residents. Whether you're hosting a private event, wedding, neighborhood party, or even a festival, these portable stations include composting, recycling, and trash bins. To learn more about how you can reserve an event recycling station for your next gathering, visit wakegov.com/event recycling.
In March, we cut the ribbon on the Wake Forest Community Library after months of waiting. Our own Alice Avery was there to take in the festivities. Here she is with more on this exciting development.
Hi, I'm Alice Avery, and we're here at the Wake Forest Community Library with Ann Burlingame, Deputy Director of Wake County Public Libraries, to talk about a very exciting event. Ann, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
Sure. So, things are obviously very busy here in the library today. What just happened?
We just cut the ribbon to the expansion to the Wake Forest Library. So, this library was about 5,000 square feet big, and we closed it down and we added on to it, and now it's close to 10,000 square feet.
Wow, so it almost doubled in size.
It did.
So in addition to the size change, what other features have been altered?
Well, one of the things that is really exciting is we have expanded our staff, so we will have another professional children's librarian, we'll have a part-time professional adult librarian, and we'll be doing more programming for children, teens, and adults. And also, we will be open on Sundays.
So how did that come about?
Well, we've always wanted to open our community libraries on Sundays, and about 2 years ago, the Library Commission worked with the Board of Commissioners to request to open the community libraries on Sundays, and they were successful, and we are most grateful because Sunday in the public library is actually one of the busiest days.
That's an interesting fact. I wouldn't expect that.
Well, I think, so many people now work 6-day work weeks, and so Sunday really is their only day to be with their families. So we want all of our libraries to be as accessible as they can, and we want to make sure that, we encourage people to visit the library when they have downtime, when they want to be with their families. Come to a program, come use one of our computers, come look at all of our books. We have 50,000 books in here, all new.
That's great. This library is a popular one. Can you talk a little bit about the way the community feels about it?
Well, Wake Forest has always been very, very supportive of their library. And when we opened this building in 1996, it was so well received because it had been an 1,800 square foot building downtown. Wake Forest was also one of the first public libraries in the town, and it was started by a women's club. And most public libraries in Wake County all got their start by women's clubs, and so that was this one. So when we opened in 1996, it got busy so fast that we knew it needed to be bigger, and fortunately they had built it on a site that could be expanded. So that's why we were able to not have to buy any more property. We had the property.
It's great planning that went into that on the front end.
Yeah, it really was, and I think there's a couple libraries. Our Green Road Library, we could expand it if we wanted to because we own the land. But it really worked well for Wake Forest because now we have a space for more adult things and adult programs, whereas before it was so many children that the adults kind of got squeezed out. So now we're going to welcome them all back. We have lots of books. We're going to have some different services. We're going to have a professional librarian to help them. So it really is an exciting day.
It's great. Well, we look forward to checking out the space.
Well, thanks so much. And we just look forward to having all of the community come back and enjoy their public library.
Great. Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
Get the timely and accurate information you need to stay safe if there's an emergency in your area. Sign up for Ready Wake alerts, and Wake County will send you important notifications by text, phone, or email, whichever way you choose. Whether it's severe weather, a missing person report, or a neighborhood evacuation, stay in the know with Ready Wake alerts. Learn more and sign up at readywake.com.
After years of planning with our many partners, the Oak City Multiservices Center is finally ready to open on April 10th. Here's Dara Demai with a closer look at this new facility.
Hey everybody, we're here at the Oak City Center. I'm joined by Anne Marie Majorano. She is one of the deputy directors for our Human Services Department, and we are very excited to be in this building because it has been a long time coming. They are finishing up, the crews are making the last minute adjustments, setting up the tables, getting the paint done, making sure all the flooring is in place before this opens and begins providing some very much needed services to our community. So it's pretty exciting that we're in here today.
Yes, I am absolutely thrilled. This has been a long journey. We started in 2013. This building was an abandoned warehouse. Wow. And $8.6 million later, we have this absolutely fabulous state-of-the-art facility where we can provide a high-quality service to people who are homeless and at risk of becoming homeless.
And I want to hear all about the steps that it took to get here. But first, let's explain a little bit more about what the people who will come to this facility will experience and what will be available to them here.
Sure. Oak City Cares is a facility that's open to all, where people will be treated with dignity and respect. Our primary populations and our primary focus will be people who are homeless and at risk of being homeless. And we have a full array of offerings for people, starting with basic needs. People can come here and take a shower. They can come here and get their laundry done. They can check their email. So people will also be able to get an assessment that helps them understand the services that they may need. And the important point is that they will also be connected directly to those services. So it won't just be a referral. We will actually be able to connect people with the services that they need and also provide transportation so that they can get to those services. This doesn't exist in our community now. One really neat part of this concept is that the homeless person will only have to tell their story one time. Currently, our system is fragmented. People often go to numerous places before they get the service that they need. They have to retell their story every time. And here, we just have a lot more dignity.
So how does that work now, knowing that the center is about to open in April and will be open after some people are watching this? Did people have to find some way, because not everyone has a car, to get from one place to get economic services and then get to another place and get medical services? Is that kind of how the situation works?
Yes, currently homeless people have to wayfind, and they may present at a shelter that they are not eligible to access. And so then it's up to them to get guidance from the provider to find their way possibly to another shelter or to food or to medical assistance, but they completely wayfind on their own. And it's a process that makes people homeless and unstable for a prolonged period of time. And it just compounds an already very unfortunate situation for people. And with our multi-services center, they will just have to make one stop. And they can come in and they can tell their story, and they can get access to the services that they need in the community. And we hope that this will ultimately end up in reducing the length of time people are homeless, and in many cases preventing people from becoming homeless in the first place. Really, the goal of the center is to eliminate the homeless episode, or if the homeless episode happens, to make it as brief as possible and non-recurring. So to that end, people need more than housing who are homeless. They need a full array of services. They're going to need help with economic services, job training. They need health, mental health services. And this center will either provide or connect people to all of those services that they need to really heal themselves.
So this could be really life-changing for people.
Yes.
And that must be so exciting for you as someone who's been in this world for many years, working on these types of struggles, trying to help lift people up. What has that journey been like for you and the partners who came up with this idea from the very beginning?
So it's taken a lot of tenacity, but we do have many qualified service providers in the community. It's just, this is going to be the fabric that knits all of those providers together. And so we believe that the single entry point for people who are homeless is so important to increasing the quality of the services that they get. And so it's been a long journey. We really started in 2013. It came out of recommendations from a food distribution task force as a long-term solution, a one-stop shop being a long-term solution to people who are either going to escape homelessness or prevent homelessness. From that point, we really involved the community in the planning process. There was a core team that was developed. It consisted of people from the city of Raleigh, Wake County, the Partnership to End and Prevent Homelessness, really made up the core team, but we involved the community, we involved the homeless population, we involved neighborhood groups, and we listened a lot. And we listened as to, what a center could be, because really, there's no other model like this that we know of in the country. So this is very groundbreaking.
Wow.
And so we really wanted to be sure that we heard people and we heard what they needed. The journey into getting into this building also did take a comprehensive process. We had a team that looked at 10 different sites based upon some criteria. We wanted to be close to downtown. Based upon what the community decided was needed for this building, we needed at least 18,000 square feet of space, and we needed it to be for sale or for lease. And then we found this building, and the Wake County Commissioners agreed to buy it in January of 2017. as the most logical site. It also is adjacent to our men's shelter. So we have a lot of sharing of resources back and forth with that center.
And was that a real plus for this property, for it being so close to the men's shelter?
So for the county it was. I think that we, it's a county building and we can group our resources. And this is already known and it's on a bus line.
Yes, and that's a tremendous help
Yes.
because as you were mentioning, it's hard for people
Yes.
who don't have a vehicle to get from place to place.
Yes.
So this is really exciting. You were talking about, the dignity that we're trying to show our clients who come to this center. And I think that's reflected in even things as simple as the way that this is interior decorated. The chairs that you see here and the stations where the food will be and things like that. I mean, it looks like something you would see in a loft in downtown Raleigh.
Yes, there was a lot of attention given to detail by the designers and facilities design and construction. Really, our facilities design and construction department really led the way with the whole design process with input from the core team of people that got together to plan. But they chose an architect engineering firm and then the builder that came in. You could tell that there was passion in what they did and that this wasn't just another project for them. You could tell that there was a lot of care and consideration given to this project.
So what do you think it's going to mean for the community as a whole? I mean, it's obviously going to be a really great service provider, a one-stop shop for everything that people who may be about to experience homelessness or may already be experiencing homelessness may need. But what about the rest of the community who may not utilize the services? I mean, what will that mean for them as well?
So this center is absolutely tremendous for the county as a whole because we are truly going to be able to make a difference in the lives of our most vulnerable citizens. And I also believe that the investment that we have put into this facility shows us as a county that really cares and that really values all of its citizens. And that's very meaningful.
And I think that's something people forget about. As our population grows, we talk about growth all the time, 65 people moving here, being born here every day. Those people aren't just middle or upper class. We have people of all kinds of social strata coming here, and we've got to be able to provide services for everyone.
And that's so true. And a lot of times when we make a list of the top 5 or the top 2 or the top, we get very desperate people that come here thinking that they can change their lives because there's so much opportunity here. And so we get people that just pack up everything and come down in their cars and really have no place to go.
So talk about the group that's actually going to be managing the facility and running the operations here.
Yes, so this is a Wake County owned building, but we've contracted with Oak City Cares, who will be the service providers. And Oak City Cares is a nonprofit, community-based entity that will really be able to embrace volunteers and partners. So it won't be a county government building, and county government buildings are good, but we really want people to come in here and feel a sense of community that maybe we don't always deliver in a governmental setting.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell their sense of excitement as well. We were walking in here today, just getting ready for our interview and meeting some of them, and they said, "Oh, did you see the desk? Did you see the chairs?" I mean, they have just as much excitement as you do, I think.
So we've been since January of 2017 in the actual design and construction stage of that, and then so it's been a number of years. At first, it was just the conceptual, and then it was the actual design and construction. And so we really entered into contract with Oak City Cares in 2017. So we've been at it for over 2 years.
It must be really nice to know that this facility was built to suit every particular need that Oak City Cares might have as it tries to deliver these services and move people through the process.
Right.
You don't usually get that.
It's one of the things that I discovered about homeless services or homeless people is that their needs are so varied. Mm-hmm. And no two stories are really the same. Mm-hmm. And so we have to be flexible enough with addressing the needs of each unique individual, and an entity like Oak City Cares is perfectly poised to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And so flexibility is what's needed, and flexibility is what we have in this building, and dignity is what we give people in this building.
Mm-hmm. So what will success stories coming out of here, months from now start to look like? What do you, I'm sure you have dreamed about this over the years, what do you think that'll look like?
So, with a more coordinated system, we will also know whether or not we're making a difference. Right now, we have separate systems. Our coordinated entry system has a single database that's used throughout the community. So we will know if we are making a difference, because we'll know if somebody exits the homeless system, and we'll be able to know if they return. Right now, we don't have any of the ability to do any of that. We know we help people, and we know intuitively or through stories that we've done well, but we will actually have empirical evidence to show whether or not we've moved the needle on reducing the length of time somebody is homeless or preventing somebody from becoming homeless. And another thing too is that we will have data that shows the gaps in the system. And it doesn't sound like that's a success in the beginning, but it really is, because we'll know where we need to invest our dollars. Right now we make really good calculated guesses, but we don't have the data that would support a product that might be needed for families or individuals that we don't have right now. So showing the gaps is very important, in addition to getting people not to become homeless. Because once we know that, then we know where we can direct resources.
That's so smart, because I was just thinking the same thing, and I was going to ask you, do you think there'll be lessons that staff will learn and that the partners will learn throughout this process? It sounds like yes.
Right, so absolutely, this is not going to be able to cure all the deficits in the homeless service delivery system. And so, right now we have basically an affordable housing crisis. There just isn't enough housing, and a center like this is not going to make the housing appear. But what a center like this will do is will provide data-driven metrics, data-driven evidence that shows the types of housing, the income groups, and those things that we don't have in a uniform, holistic fashion right now.
So you mentioned that you're not aware of anyone else in the country that's doing anything quite like this center that we have here. So what do you hope for Wake County once this center opens and starts accepting clients? Do you want us to become a role model for other places across the nation to do the same thing?
I so do. This has been such a great opportunity for us to date, and I know that this facility, this multi-services center, will make a difference. I know that Oak City Cares will have a meaningful impact in the lives of so many people and improve our community overall. And I do believe we will be a best practice and looked at nationally. And we are happy to share any of our information. Nothing is proprietary. I would hope that this would be replicated all over the country so that people all over the country can receive the services they need to heal. And I think that if we could do this nationally, we would really take a giant step toward ending homelessness.
And that is really powerful stuff. If anyone wants more information about Oak City Cares, they can go to the website and the social media accounts that you see on our screen. Well, thank you for taking some time today.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's all for this episode of Wake TV. Keep up with the latest Wake County news by visiting us online at wakegov.com/news. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube so you can always stay in the loop. We'll see you next time.